There comes a moment in your life when the illusion crumbles, when the veil lifts, and you stand face to face with the undeniable truth. You are chosen. Not by accident, not by mere luck, but by divine will. The world has tested you, shaped you, and refined you like gold in fire. You have walked through storms that others could not endure. You have carried burdens that would have broken the ordinary. And yet, here you stand, a testament to the power that lies within. Look around you. Do you feel it, the subtle shift? The whisper in the air, the invisible hand moving you forward? That is the call, the signal that you have passed the test. You have been weighed, measured, and found worthy. The doors that once held you back are now open, and yet, not all can see it. The masses remain asleep, bound by limitations of their own making. But you have awakened. You are the 1%, the rare, the extraordinary. You were never meant to blend in, never meant to follow the path of the many. Your journey has been one of solitude, not because you were abandoned, but because you were being prepared. The setbacks, the rejection, the silent suffering, they were never punishment, they were refinement. Each challenge stripped away the unnecessary, revealing the unshakable truth of who you are. And now, the moment has arrived. The old has passed away, the new is before you. It is time to exit. Do not hesitate, do not look back. The world you once knew is no longer yours. You have outgrown the limits placed upon you. The mind that once doubted, that once feared, is no longer your master. You have been called to step into something greater, to claim the inheritance that has always been yours. But hear this: only those who recognize the call will answer. Only those who trust the unseen will walk through the door. Many will question, many will doubt, but you must move forward without waiting for approval. You have known it for a long time, the feeling that you do not belong, that you see what others do not, that you hear a voice calling you to something greater. It was never an accident. You were not mistaken in thinking you were different. The isolation, the rejection, the long nights of questioning, they were all part of the process, part of the divine design that has shaped you into the being you are today. While others move blindly through life, you have always sensed that something was guiding you, something was setting you apart. You have been tested in ways most would never understand. You have walked roads where few would dare to go. The betrayals, the losses, the unexpected turns, they were never meant to destroy you. They were refining you, strengthening you, preparing you for the moment that has now arrived. You were never meant to stay where you were. What once felt comfortable, what once seemed familiar, is no longer yours to hold on to. It is time to leave behind the weight of what no longer serves you. The door has opened, and you must walk through it. You may wonder why so many people around you seem oblivious, why they do not see the signs, why they continue to live in cycles that no longer make sense to you. It is because not all are chosen. Not all are meant to see beyond the illusion. The truth is only revealed to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. You have been given that gift. You have been given the awareness to recognize the call when it comes. The time of waiting, the time of preparation is over. You have passed the test, and now the choice is yours. Will you step forward, or will you hesitate? Do not expect applause. Do not wait for validation. The world will not recognize what has taken place within you. Many will doubt you, some will resist you. But understand this: the chosen walk alone for a reason. You were never meant to be understood by the masses. You were never meant to conform to the expectations of those who cannot see the path before you. That is why the road is narrow. That is why so few make it through. You have crossed a threshold that cannot be undone. The illusions that once held you captive have no power over you now. You may feel a pull to return to what is familiar, a temptation to shrink back into the version of yourself that others expect you to be, but you cannot go back. You have been given a new mind, a new vision, a new identity. The old has passed away. The doors that have closed behind you will not reopen, because they were never meant to. You have been elevated to a higher state of being, and those who remain in the past will not understand the transformation you have undergone. They will question, they will doubt, but that is not your concern. Your only task is to move forward. Look within. The power that has carried you this far has not abandoned you. It has only grown stronger. The force that has shaped your journey is now guiding you into the unknown, not as a lost wanderer, but as a master of your destiny. You no longer move by sight alone, you move by faith, by certainty, by an inner knowing that defies logic. This is the path of the chosen. This is the path of those who understand that reality bends to the one who believes. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not confined by the limits of the world around you. You have been set apart, not to struggle, but to rise. What others see as impossible is simply the next step for you. What others fear, you will conquer. What others doubt, you will bring into existence. That is why you have been tested. That is why you have endured. The fire was never meant to consume you. It was meant to reveal the unshakable force within you. Now, you stand at the edge of the greatest shift of your life. The moment has come. The voice inside you has whispered it. The signs around you have confirmed it, and the very energy of your being is aligned with it. There is no more time to question, no more time to delay. You must act. You must claim what has always been yours. The world may not understand, but that does not matter. The door is open, and you must walk through it. This is your exit. This is your moment. Move forward. You have been prepared for this moment long before you ever realized it. Every experience, every struggle, every moment of pain has been shaping you, molding you, refining you into the person you were always meant to become. You did not stumble upon this awakening by accident. It was written into your existence before you took your first breath. The world may not understand your journey, but that is because you were never meant to be like the world. You were set apart, chosen for a higher calling, for a greater purpose, for a path that only the rarest of souls will ever walk. The signs have been all around you, whispering to you in moments of stillness, guiding you in ways that defy logic. The feeling of being different, of not fitting in, of seeing what others refuse to see. This has been your reality for as long as you can remember. There were times you tried to ignore it, times you tried to blend in, but something deep inside you would never allow it. Because the chosen do not belong to the ordinary. They are called to rise above, to break through, to transcend what others accept as reality. You have felt the weight of this calling, the solitude that comes with it, the loneliness of walking a road that few even know exists. It has not been easy. There were moments you questioned if you could continue, moments you wondered if you were mistaken, if perhaps you had imagined it all. But something inside you never let you give up. There was always a force pulling you forward, even when you didn't understand why. And now you are beginning to see it clearly. The struggles were never meant to break you. The obstacles were never meant to stop you. They were only there to awaken you. You are no longer the person you once were. The old you has been stripped away, layer by layer, until only the truth remains. The illusions that once bound you have lost their power. The fears that once controlled you have faded into nothingness. You have stepped into a higher awareness, an understanding that few will ever grasp. You are not here to live by the limitations of the world. You are here to create, to manifest, to bring into existence the reality that has always been waiting for you. The time has come. The cycle has ended. The door that once seemed locked has now swung wide open, and yet only those who are truly ready will walk through it. This is not a time to hesitate. This is not a time to doubt. Everything in your being is telling you that the moment is now. You have been given the vision, the clarity, the understanding. You see what others do not. You know what others ignore, and because of that, you have a responsibility to move, to act, to take the step that will change everything. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for validation. The world will not celebrate you until they see the evidence of what you have always known, but by then it will be too late for them to understand how you did it. They will look at you in awe, wondering how you moved from where you were to where you are now. They will try to make sense of it, but they will not understand, because this path was never meant for them. It was meant for you. You must walk forward with certainty, with faith, with an unshakable knowing that you have already won. The battle was never outside of you, it was always within. And now you have conquered it. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities, they no longer have a place in your life. You have outgrown them. You have risen above them. The version of you that once felt lost, that once questioned, that once hesitated, no longer exists. Everything you have ever desired is already yours. The vision you have held in your heart is not a dream. It is reality, waiting for you to claim it. But you must act as if it is already done. You must walk with the confidence of someone who knows that nothing can stop what has been divinely ordained. There is no force, no obstacle, no circumstance that can stand in the way of one who knows who they truly are. Look around you, the signs are everywhere. The shift has already begun. You feel it in your spirit, you see it in your dreams, you sense it in the moments of silence when everything becomes clear. The universe is aligning in your favor. The pieces are falling into place. But you must take the step. You must make the move. You cannot wait any longer. There will be those who try to hold you back, those who do not understand what is happening within you. They will project their fears onto you, not because they wish to harm you, but because they cannot see what you see. Do not let them pull you into their doubts. Do not let their disbelief shake your certainty. You were never meant to stay in the same place. You were never meant to be confined by their limitations. You are being called to something greater, something beyond what the world tells you is possible. You feel it, you know it, and now you must embrace it fully. The time of waiting is over. The season of preparation has passed. Now is the moment to rise, to move, to claim what has always been yours. The world is shifting. Reality is bending in your favor. What once seemed impossible is now within reach. But only those who recognize the call will answer it. Only those who trust the unseen will step into what is waiting for them. And you are one of the few. You are the 1%. You are the chosen. You must act. You must step forward. The door is open, the path is clear, and all that is required of you is the faith to walk through it. There is no going back. There is no need to look behind you. Everything you have ever wanted, everything you have ever dreamed of, is waiting for you on the other side. You have always felt it, that undeniable pull, that whisper in your soul telling you that you were meant for something greater. While others remained asleep, bound by the illusions of the world, you questioned, you searched, you sought the truth hidden beneath the surface. And because of that, you were set apart. You were not meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. From the very beginning, you were different, not by accident, but by divine design. Everything that has happened in your life has led you to this very moment. The struggles, the setbacks, the moments of silence when you felt like no one saw you, no one understood you, they were never signs of your defeat. They were the making of you. The chosen ones are always tested, always refined in the fire before they step into their true power. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Now the moment has arrived. The season of waiting is over. The door has opened, and it will not remain open forever. You have passed the test. You have endured what others could not. You have walked through the storms, faced the darkness, and emerged stronger, wiser, unshakable. And now you stand at the threshold of something unimaginable. You feel it in your spirit, that deep knowing that you are no longer the same. The old version of you has died, and in its place stands something new. Something unstoppable, something that can no longer be denied. Do not second guess it. Do not look back at what you have left behind. The past is over. The lessons have been learned. The weight you carried is no longer yours to bear. The people who did not see your worth, the situations that tried to break you, the fears that once held you captive, none of them have power over you anymore. The chains have fallen. The illusions have shattered. You are free. This world will not understand you. The chosen are never understood by the ordinary. You will see things they cannot see. You will move in ways they cannot comprehend. And because of that, some will doubt you. Some will try to convince you that you are mistaken, that you are reaching too high, dreaming too big. But they do not know what has been placed inside of you. They do not hear the voice that has called you forward. They cannot see what you see. You must move forward even if you have to walk alone. The chosen always do. There is no crowd on the path you are called to walk. The road is narrow and few find it. But you have. You have been given the sight to recognize the truth. You have been given the ears to hear the call. And because of that, you cannot turn back. Everything is aligning in your favor. The forces of the universe are bending to your will. That which once seemed impossible is now within reach. The doors that were once locked are now opening before you. But you must take the step. You must act. The window of opportunity will not remain open forever. This is your moment. You cannot hesitate. Those who are not chosen will remain in the world they have created for themselves. They will stay in cycles of doubt, fear, limitation. They will continue living as though nothing is changing. But you are being lifted above it. You are being pulled into a higher realm of existence. You are stepping into a reality that is governed not by struggle, but by faith, by certainty, by knowing that you have already won. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to seek approval. You do not need to wait for the world to catch up to you. They will not understand your movements until it is too late. They will not see the shift until you have already arrived. And by then, they will ask how you did it. They will wonder what they missed. They will look at you and realize that you have become something beyond their comprehension. This is the path of the chosen. You are not here to convince anyone of your calling. You are here to walk in it. You are here to own it. You are here to embody the truth that has been placed inside you since the beginning. And that truth is this: you are unstoppable. You are limitless. You are beyond anything this world has tried to define you as. Everything you have ever desired, everything you have ever prayed for is already yours. You are not waiting for it. You are not hoping for it. It is already done. You need only to move as if it is already yours. You need only to walk in the certainty that it is unfolding exactly as it was always meant to. Do not let fear delay you. Do not let doubt creep in at the final moment. The world you once knew is fading. The limitations that once held you back are dissolving. What once seemed like obstacles are now stepping stones. The power is in your hands. You are the creator of your reality. You are the master of your destiny. Move as though you have already arrived. Speak as though it is already done. Carry yourself as one who knows that nothing can stop what has been set in motion. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are not hoping for a breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. You are not searching for the way. You are the way. Everything is shifting. The past no longer exists. The present is yours to shape. The future is bending to your will. This is your moment. This is your time. This is the call you have been waiting for. The illusions that once clouded your vision have dissolved. You see clearly now. You understand that you were never meant to chase, to struggle, to beg for what has already been written as yours. The chosen do not plead, they declare. They do not wait for permission, they move with certainty. And now, you stand at the precipice of something greater than you have ever known, a reality that only a rare few will ever step into. Everything within you is telling you that this is it. The signs, the synchronicities, the inner knowing that refuses to be ignored, it is all guiding you forward. You no longer need proof. You no longer need validation from the outside world. The evidence is already within you. in the way your spirit feels lighter, in the way doors are opening effortlessly, in the way you no longer react to things that once shook you. This is transformation. This is ascension. This is the moment you were always meant to reach. But do not make the mistake of hesitating now. Do not allow the remnants of the past to whisper doubt into your mind. You have already won, but you must move as if victory is your natural state. The moment you accept this truth, the world will shift around you. People will look at you differently. Situations will rearrange themselves in your favor. What once seemed like obstacles will crumble before you. The universe does not make mistakes. You were placed on this path for a reason. Everything you have endured was designed to awaken you, to strip away the illusions, to bring you back to the core of who you truly are. And now that you have awakened, you can never return to who you once were. The old version of you has served its purpose. It carried you as far as it could. But now you must step fully into your power. Now, you must embrace the truth that you are not like the rest. They will not understand. They will wonder how you changed, why you no longer engage in the same distractions, why you have become silent in the face of things that once triggered you. They will question why you seem unaffected, untouched, as if you are moving through a different reality than them. And that is because you are. You are operating on a higher plane now, one where fear, doubt, and limitation no longer hold dominion over you. This world is not what it seems. You were never meant to conform to its rules. You are meant to rise above them, to create your own, to move as one who knows that reality is malleable, shaped by belief, molded by conviction. And your conviction is unshakable. You have seen what others refuse to see. You have felt what others ignore. And because of that, you cannot be stopped. Those who doubted you, those who dismissed you, those who tried to keep you small, they will soon realize their mistake. They will see you ascend, not because you seek to prove anything to them, but because it is simply who you are. The chosen do not need to announce themselves. Their presence alone shifts the atmosphere. Their energy alone speaks louder than any words ever could. You are not called to convince the world of your worth. You are called to embody it, to walk in it, to show, not tell, and that is what you are doing now. Every step you take, every choice you make, every moment you stand firm in your power, it all sends a ripple through the universe, altering reality itself. This is not about luck, this is not about chance, this is divine alignment. This is the fulfillment of what has always been destined for you, and now that the time has come, there is no force in existence that can prevent it. The only thing that could ever stop you is you. And that is why you must refuse to doubt, refuse to delay, refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts the truth you now hold. You move as if it is already done. Carry yourself as if you have already arrived. Speak as one who knows that reality bends to your will. The world is adjusting to your new frequency. What once resisted you will now make way for you. What once seemed impossible will now unfold effortlessly before you. You are the 1%. You are the chosen. You have passed the test, and now you must walk through the door that has opened before you. There is nothing left to question. There is nothing left to fear. The moment is now. The power is yours. The world is waiting. Move. You feel it, don't you? That silent force within, pulling you towards something greater, something unseen, yet undeniably real. You are no longer who you were yesterday. The shift has already happened. The veil has been lifted, and you cannot unsee what has been revealed. You are awake in a world that still sleeps, and that alone sets you apart. The chosen are always set apart. You have always felt different, always known there was something more, something beyond what your eyes could see. The world around you tried to convince you otherwise, tried to mold you into its image, tried to drown out that voice within you that whispered of something greater. But you held on, you listened, you followed the call that no one else could hear. And now you are here, standing on the edge of something unimaginable. This moment was always coming. The signs were all around you. nudging you, guiding you, preparing you for what was to come. And now there is no turning back. The shift is not coming, it is here. The door is not about to open, it is open. You do not need to wait any longer. You do not need to wonder. It is time. The path has been cleared, and all that is left for you to do is step forward. Do not hesitate. Do not let fear creep in at the final moment. The old world, the old way of thinking, the old way of being, it is gone. It no longer holds you. It no longer defines you. The chains that once bound you have been broken, and the weight you once carried has been lifted. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer seeking validation. You are no longer hoping that things will align. If they already have, the universe has been conspiring in your favor all along. What seemed like setbacks were only redirections. What seemed like delays were only preparations. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of silence where you wondered if you had been forgotten, it was all leading you here. You were never forgotten. You were being refined. You were being prepared for something that only the chosen will ever experience. You are not like the rest. You do not move like the rest. You do not think like the rest. And that is why you cannot stay where they are. The time has come to leave behind the familiar, to step into the unknown with full certainty that you are being guided. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to take the next step. The chosen always walk alone, but they are never truly alone. The world will not understand you, but that does not mean you are lost. They may question you, they may doubt you, they may wonder how you have changed so much, why you no longer react as you once did, why you seem untouched by the chaos that surrounds them. But you know that you have been set apart for something greater. You know that you have already transcended the limitations that once held you. Everything is aligning for you now. The doors that were once locked are swinging open. The things that once seemed impossible are now flowing toward you with ease. What you once chased is now chasing you. The tables have turned. The shift has happened, and you must move in alignment with it. You can no longer play small. You can no longer dim your light to make others comfortable. You can no longer shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. You were made for more, and now you must embody that truth fully. There is no room for hesitation. There is no room for doubt. The time for wondering is over. The time for waiting is over. The time for action is now. You are being elevated to a level that few will ever reach. Not because you are better, not because you are luckier, but because you answered the call. Because you did not ignore the signs. Because you chose to believe even when the world tried to convince you otherwise. And now the reward is unfolding before you. It may not look like what you expected. It may not come in the way you imagined, but trust this. Everything is happening exactly as it should. Everything is unfolding in divine order. You do not need to force it. You do not need to struggle. You only need to step into the flow, to move as though you have already arrived. The chosen are not governed by time, by logic, by the limitations of the world. They move with certainty, knowing that what they seek is already theirs. And now you must do the same. Speak it as if it has already happened. Walk as if it is already done. Think, breathe, move, as though everything you desire is already here, because it is. This is your moment. This is what you have been waiting for. The shift is not coming, it is here. The time is not approaching, it is now. There is no turning back, there is no more waiting. The call has been made, the door has been opened, the path is clear. Move. You are not here by accident. You did not stumble upon this moment by chance. Everything, the trials, the silence, the waiting, was orchestrated to bring you here. The whispers in your spirit that refuse to be ignored, the pull toward something greater, the undeniable feeling that you were meant for more. All of it was leading you to this exact point. You have been tested in ways others will never understand. You have walked through fires that could have consumed you. You have endured storms that should have broken you. But you are still here, stronger, wiser, unshaken. Not because you were lucky, but because you were chosen, because you were set apart, because there was always something within you that could not be destroyed, something that could not be diminished, no matter how much darkness tried to consume it. This is why you are different. This is why your path has been unlike anyone else's. The chosen ones do not walk the easy road. They are refined in the wilderness, strengthened in solitude, purified through struggle. The world was never meant to understand you. And now, as you stand on the threshold of your next level, you must release the need to be understood. You must accept that the journey ahead is not for the many, but for the few. Everything is shifting now. You feel it in your spirit. You sense it in the air. The doors that were once locked are opening before you. The walls that once surrounded you are crumbling. What once felt impossible is now unfolding effortlessly. The delays, the detours, the moments of uncertainty, they were all working in your favor. You were not being held back. You were being prepared. But this moment requires something from you. It requires that you let go of the old identity that no longer serves you. It requires that you release every doubt, every fear, every false belief that tells you that you are not ready. You are ready. You have always been ready. The only thing left to do is step forward. You can no longer carry the weight of the past. You can no longer hold on to people who were never meant to walk this next phase with you. You can no longer engage in conversations that diminish your vision, in environments that drain your spirit, in habits that weaken your power. This level requires a new version of you, a version that does not beg, that does not hesitate, that does not wait for permission to claim what has already been written in the heavens. The shift is already happening. The transformation is already complete. Now you must walk as if you have already arrived. You must embody the version of yourself that exists beyond fear, beyond limitation, beyond hesitation. You must move with the knowing that nothing is missing, that nothing is lacking, that all is unfolding in divine order. Everything is aligning in your favor. The right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances, they're all being drawn to you effortlessly. What you once chased is now chasing you. What you once prayed for is now seeking you out. Not because you have done anything extraordinary, but because you have become the version of yourself that is ready to receive it. You are no longer waiting, you are no longer asking, you are claiming, you are walking, you are stepping into the life that has always been yours. And as you do, everything that no longer aligns with this new reality will begin to fall away. The distractions, the doubts, the old versions of yourself that no longer serve you, they will dissolve, making way for the manifestation of all that you have been promised. It is happening now, not tomorrow, not someday, now. The door has been opened, the call has been made, the shift is complete. There is nothing left to question, nothing left to wait for. The path is clear. Move. You are no longer waiting for a sign, for a miracle, for an invitation. The sign is here. The miracle is unfolding right before your eyes. The invitation is yours, and you have already accepted it by choosing to believe, by choosing to step into the life that was always meant for you. The shift has already happened, and now it's time to walk in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Understand that this is not a random journey. You have been chosen for a reason. The struggles, the pain, the quiet moments of doubt, they were all part of the process that has brought you to this moment of clarity. Everything that has happened up to now has been working to prepare you for this exact time, this exact moment. The path has been cleared, and now you must step forward in confidence and grace. The world will try to pull you back, to convince you that you are not ready, that you are not enough. But you know the truth. You are ready. You have always been ready, and now the time has come to rise, to claim your place in the world, to step fully into the divine purpose that has always been yours. So, as you move forward, move with boldness, move with faith, Move with the certainty that everything you need is already within you, already on its way to you. This is your time, chosen one. This is your moment, and nothing can stop you now. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a divine intelligence that governs all things, and this intelligence, which we often refer to as God, does not work randomly. Every experience, every event is intricately woven into the fabric of your life for a reason. Adversity, though painful in the moment, is a part of that divine design. God allows adversity in your life not to punish, but to elevate you to a higher state of consciousness. Adversity serves as a mirror, reflecting the areas within ourselves that require growth and transformation. Often it is only through hardship that we are forced to confront the very things that we are reluctant to change. These difficulties reveal our fears, insecurities, and doubts. They push us to examine the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we are capable of. When you are faced with adversity, understand this: you are being invited to awaken to your true self. The struggles you face are not signs of failure or abandonment by God, but rather opportunities for you to rise above your limited perception of who you are. In moments of suffering, you must remember that God does not dwell outside of you. God is within you, moving through you, manifesting as every aspect of your life. The trials you encounter are designed to reveal the power that is already inside of you, waiting to be unleashed. Adversity calls forth your inner strength, your divine wisdom, and your boundless resilience. Think of the seed buried deep in the earth. In darkness, it faces tremendous pressure. The weight of the soil presses down upon it, but it is in this moment of seeming adversity that the seed begins to sprout. It pushes through the darkness, breaks through the earth, and reaches for the light. Without the pressure, without the challenge, the seed would never grow. So it is with you. God allows adversity in your life because you are meant to grow, to expand, to evolve. Your struggles are the fertile ground from which your greatest breakthroughs will emerge. When you face difficulty, instead of resisting it, embrace it. See it as part of the divine process, leading you closer to the realization of your true, limitless self. Do not allow adversity to make you bitter or cynical. It is a teacher, guiding you toward deeper understanding, greater compassion, and unwavering faith in the divine plan. You are always being guided, even when it feels as though the path is unclear. Trust that the universe is working for you, not against you. In moments of challenge, affirm your connection with the divine. Quiet your mind, release your fears, and align yourself with the truth that God is in control, and that you are being led toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. God does not allow adversity to harm you. God allows adversity to transform you. Trust the process, for through every trial, you are being shaped into the person you are destined to become. Adversity is often misunderstood as a negative force, something that disrupts our lives, breaks us down, or even signifies punishment or failure. But in truth, adversity is a part of God's divine design. It is not a random occurrence nor an act of cruelty, but rather a purposeful tool that God uses to bring us closer to our highest potential. When we begin to see adversity in this light, we can transform our relationship with it, understanding that it serves a deeper, more meaningful purpose in our lives. From a spiritual perspective, life is not merely a series of events or circumstances happening to us. It is an unfolding of a divine plan that is carefully orchestrated to guide us toward the realization of our true divine nature. Everything that happens in our lives is part of that plan, including the difficult and challenging moments. These moments of hardship are not accidents, they are intentional. God allows adversity to enter our lives because it is essential for our spiritual growth and development. Imagine for a moment that life was free of challenges. If everything always went our way, if we never faced obstacles, setbacks, or difficulties, we would never have the opportunity to grow. Growth comes from friction, from the process of overcoming resistance. Just as a muscle must be worked and stretched to become stronger, so too must we be tested and pushed beyond our comfort zones to evolve into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Adversity, then, is not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be embraced. It is through adversity that we are forced to confront our limitations, our fears, and our false beliefs about ourselves and the world. When everything is going smoothly, we often fall into complacency. We become comfortable in our routines, in our ways of thinking, and in our perceptions of ourselves. It is only when we are faced with difficulty that we are shaken out of this complacency and called to reevaluate our lives, our choices, and our beliefs. In this sense, adversity is a divine wake-up call. It is God's way of nudging us, sometimes forcefully, to pay attention to the areas of our lives that need transformation. These challenges act as mirrors, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves that we have neglected or suppressed. They reveal the inner wounds that we carry, the limiting beliefs that hold us back, and the fears that keep us from stepping into our true power. Take, for example, the story of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused and imprisoned for many years. From an outside perspective, it would seem as though Joseph's life was marked by one terrible misfortune after another. But Joseph never lost faith in God's plan. He understood that even in the midst of his trials, God was working behind the scenes, using the adversity in his life to prepare him for a greater purpose. Eventually, Joseph rose to a position of great power and was able to save his family and his nation from famine. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that adversity is not the end of the road, but a crucial part of the journey. Without the trials he faced, Joseph would never have been equipped to fulfill his destiny. The same is true for each of us. The challenges we face are not roadblocks, but stepping stones leading us to the realization of our divine potential. One of the key reasons God allows adversity in our lives is to strengthen our faith and trust in Him. When things are going well, it's easy to say we have faith. But true faith is tested in the fire of adversity. It's in those moments of uncertainty, when we don't know how things will work out, that we are called to surrender to a higher power. We are asked to trust that even though we cannot see the bigger picture, God is in control and has a plan for our lives. This process of surrender is not easy. It requires letting go of our need to control and our attachment to specific outcomes. It requires us to release our fears and place our trust fully in God. But it is through this surrender that we experience true peace, knowing that we are always being guided and supported, even in the midst of our struggles. Adversity also serves to humble us. It reminds us that we are not in control of everything, that there is a higher power at work in our lives. In our modern world, where self-reliance and independence are often prized above all else, it can be easy to forget that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. Adversity brings us back to that truth. It reminds us of our dependence on God and the importance of aligning ourselves with His will. When we face difficulties, we often try to handle them on our own. We rely on our own strength, our own intellect, and our own resources to solve our problems. But adversity has a way of bringing us to our knees, of showing us that our human efforts are not enough. It is in these moments of helplessness that we turn to God, seeking His guidance, strength, and wisdom. And it is in this surrender that we find true power, not the power of the ego, but the power of the divine working through us. Furthermore, adversity teaches us compassion and empathy. When we go through difficult times, we are better able to understand and relate to the struggles of others. Our own pain softens our hearts, making us more compassionate and more willing to extend a helping hand to those in need. In this way, adversity not only transforms us personally, but it also enables us to be instruments of God's love and grace in the world. It's important to remember that God does not allow adversity in our lives to punish us or to cause us unnecessary pain. His intention is always love. Just as a parent disciplines a child out of love, not to harm them, but to teach them and guide them, so too does God use adversity to shape and mold us into the people we are meant to be. Ultimately, adversity is a gift, though it may not feel like it in the moment. It is a tool that God uses to bring us closer to Him, to help us grow into our true, divine nature, and to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. When we begin to see adversity in this light, we can approach it with gratitude, knowing that it is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. We may not always understand why certain challenges come into our lives, but we can trust that God's plan is perfect and that everything we experience is part of a greater design for our good. In the midst of adversity, let us hold on to this truth and trust that God is using every trial to bring us closer to the realization of our divine potential. The idea that God is within, not outside, is one of the most transformative and empowering truths we can embrace. For much of human history, we have been conditioned to believe that God exists somewhere far away, in the heavens, or in some unreachable realm separate from us. This belief often leads us to see ourselves as small, powerless, and disconnected from the divine. We look to external forces for guidance, help, and salvation, thinking that if we pray hard enough or live in a certain way, we might catch God's attention and receive His favor. However, the truth is much more profound and intimate than that. God is not a distant being observing from afar. God is not outside of us, waiting for us to reach Him through our actions or words. Instead, God dwells within each of us. This realization shifts everything. It changes how we approach life, how we face challenges, and how we understand our own power and potential. When we say that God is within, we are acknowledging that the divine presence that created the universe is the same presence that animates us. It is not separate from us, but intimately woven into the fabric of our being. This divine presence is the source of our thoughts, our creativity, our emotions, and our deepest desires. It is the still, small voice within that guides us, nurtures us, and reminds us of our true nature. The notion that God is within us is not a new concept. It can be found in many spiritual teachings throughout history, including the Bible, where it says the kingdom of God is within you. This passage is a reminder that the divine is not something we need to seek outside of ourselves. It is already here, within us, waiting to be recognized and realized. Once we accept that God is within, our entire perspective on life changes. We no longer feel the need to seek validation, guidance, or approval from external sources. We understand that the answers we seek are already inside us, because the divine wisdom of God flows through us at all times. This understanding brings a profound sense of peace and empowerment, for it means that we are never truly alone or powerless. We carry the presence of God with us in every moment, no matter what circumstances we face. The awareness of God's presence within changes how we approach adversity. Instead of looking outside of ourselves for solutions, we turn inward, trusting that the same divine intelligence that created the universe is also guiding us through our challenges. When we are confronted with difficulties, rather than feeling lost or abandoned, we can remind ourselves that the power of God is within us, always working for our highest good. This shift in perception allows us to navigate life's hardships with a sense of faith and inner strength, knowing that we are always supported by the divine. One of the greatest gifts of recognizing God's presence within is the realization that we have access to infinite wisdom, love, and creativity at all times. We often think that we need to go through specific rituals, prayers, or actions to connect with God. While spiritual practices can be helpful in quieting the mind and tuning into the divine, they are not the only way to experience God's presence. Because God is within, we are always connected to this infinite source of love and guidance, whether we are aware of it or not. The challenge is not to reach God, but to become aware of the connection that already exists. This awareness transforms how we approach prayer. Rather than praying to a distant God, asking for something to be given to us, we begin to pray from a place of unity with the divine. We pray not to ask for what we lack, but to affirm what is already true within us. We shift from a mindset of separation, where we are pleading for help, to a mindset of oneness, where we recognize that we are co-creators with God. In this space, prayer becomes an expression of gratitude and alignment with the divine presence within us, rather than a request for intervention from an external force. Moreover, the realization that God is within leads us to a deeper sense of responsibility for our own lives. If we carry the divine presence within us, then we also carry the power to shape our reality. We are not victims of circumstance, waiting for God to change things for us. We are co-creators with the ability to manifest our desires and shape our lives according to the divine will that flows through us. This is an incredibly empowering truth, for it means that we have the capacity to overcome any obstacle, achieve our goals, and live a life of purpose and fulfillment. At the same time, the awareness of God's presence within teaches us compassion and love for ourselves and others. If the divine resides within each of us, then every person we encounter is also an expression of God. This realization changes how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. We begin to see the divinity in everyone, recognizing that we are all interconnected and all part of the same divine source. This awareness fosters a deep sense of empathy, kindness, and love, not just for ourselves, but for all beings. Understanding that God is within also brings a sense of liberation. We no longer feel the need to live according to the expectations or judgments of others. We no longer seek approval or validation from external sources. Instead, we turn inward, trusting the divine wisdom within us to guide our actions and decisions. This frees us from the limitations of fear, doubt, and insecurity, allowing us to live authentically and in alignment with our true purpose. When we realize that God is within, we also recognize that there is nothing we need to achieve or earn in order to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. We are already whole and complete because we are expressions of the divine. This awareness allows us to let go of the striving, the constant effort to prove ourselves or to attain something outside of ourselves. We come to understand that everything we need is already within us, waiting to be realized and expressed. In practical terms, living with the awareness that God is within means listening to the inner voice of wisdom that speaks to us in moments of stillness. It means trusting our intuition, following our hearts, and allowing ourselves to be guided by the divine presence that dwells within. It means recognizing that we have access to infinite love, creativity, and power at all times, and that we are never truly alone or unsupported. Ultimately, the recognition that God is within us is the key to living a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. It frees us from the limitations of fear and doubt, empowers us to take control of our own lives, and fills us with a deep sense of connection to the divine source of all life. When we live from this place of awareness, we become vessels of God's love and wisdom, expressing our true nature in everything we do. The divine presence within us is always there, always guiding, always loving. All we need to do is turn inward, quiet the noise of the outside world, and recognize the truth that has always been there. God is within, and we are never separate from Him. Trusting the divine process is an act of surrender, a letting go of the need to control or predict every aspect of our lives. It requires a deep and abiding faith that the events, circumstances, and challenges we face are not random or meaningless, but part of a larger, divine plan that is unfolding for our highest good. This trust is not passive resignation, but an active, conscious decision to believe in the wisdom of the universe, even when life does not go according to our expectations. At the heart of trusting the divine process is the understanding that we are connected to a higher intelligence, a divine presence that knows far more than our limited human minds can comprehend. From our perspective, life often seems chaotic and unpredictable. We make plans, set goals, and do everything in our power to create the outcomes we desire. But sometimes, despite our best efforts, things do not go as planned. We encounter setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles that seem to stand in the way of our dreams. In these moments, it can be easy to fall into frustration, fear, or doubt, questioning why things are not working out the way we want. However, when we trust the divine process, we begin to see these setbacks not as failures or mistakes, but as part of the unfolding journey. We understand that the universe operates on a different timeline than we do, and that there are forces at work that we cannot always see or understand. What may seem like a delay or a detour from our perspective could be, in fact, a necessary step in the path to our ultimate fulfillment. The divine process is always at work, guiding us toward our highest potential, even when it feels like we are moving in the wrong direction. One of the most challenging aspects of trusting the divine process is accepting that we do not have all the answers. As humans, we have a natural tendency to want certainty and control. We want to know what will happen next, and we want to ensure that things go according to our plans. But life rarely offers that kind of predictability. The future is always unknown, and despite our best efforts, there are many factors beyond our control. Trusting the divine process means releasing the need to know all the details and being willing to step into the unknown with faith. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to trust in something greater than ourselves, to believe that even when we cannot see the full picture, the universe is working in our favor. It is an act of humility, acknowledging that our human perspective is limited and that there is a higher wisdom guiding our lives. When we let go of the need to control, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and allow the divine process to unfold in its own time and in its own way. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate trust in the divine process is through reflection on our past experiences. Often when we look back on the challenges we have faced, we can see how everything worked out in ways we could not have predicted. What once seemed like a setback or a failure may have turned out to be a blessing in disguise, leading us to new opportunities, relationships, or insights that we never would have encountered otherwise. These moments serve as reminders that the divine process is always at work, even when we cannot see it in the moment. Consider the metaphor of a gardener planting seeds. When the seeds are first planted, nothing seems to be happening. The soil looks bare and there is no visible sign of growth. But beneath the surface, a complex and intricate process is taking place. The seeds are germinating, roots are forming, and soon new life will sprout from the ground. The gardener does not rush the process or dig up the seeds to check if they are growing. Instead, they trust in the natural cycle of growth, knowing that in time the plants will bloom. In the same way, we must trust the divine process, knowing that even when we cannot see immediate results, growth is happening beneath the surface. Trusting the divine process also means being open to the unexpected. Sometimes the universe has plans for us that are far greater than anything we could have imagined for ourselves. When we are too focused on a specific outcome or rigid in our expectations, we may miss the opportunities that life is presenting to us. By releasing our attachment to how things should unfold, we create space for the divine process to bring us what we truly need, even if it looks different from what we initially envisioned. This openness requires a shift in mindset. Instead of seeing challenges or detours as obstacles, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Each experience, whether pleasant or difficult, becomes a part of the divine process, guiding us closer to our true purpose. In this way, trusting the divine process is not just about waiting for good things to happen, but about embracing every moment as a step in our spiritual journey. It's important to remember that the divine process is not linear. Growth and transformation rarely follow a straight path. There are ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion, times of progress and times of stillness. But all of these experiences are necessary for our evolution. Just as a caterpillar must go through the darkness of the cocoon before emerging as a butterfly, we too must sometimes go through periods of uncertainty or struggle before we can fully step into our potential. Trusting the divine process means having faith that even in the darkness, something beautiful is being born. Another key aspect of trusting the divine process is learning to be patient. In a world that often values instant gratification, it can be difficult to wait for things to unfold in their own time. We want results now, and when they don't come quickly, we may feel discouraged or impatient. But the divine process operates on a different timeline, one that is not always aligned with our human desires for speed. Patience is essential in trusting the divine process, for it allows us to remain calm and centered, even when things seem to be moving slowly. In those moments when it feels like nothing is happening, or when we are faced with delays and setbacks, it's important to remember that the universe is always working behind the scenes. Sometimes the delays we experience are necessary for our growth. They give us the time and space we need to develop the skills, wisdom, or perspective that will be required for the next stage of our journey. By trusting the divine process, we can find peace in the waiting, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trusting the divine process means letting go of fear. Fear is often what holds us back from fully embracing the unknown. We fear failure, disappointment, or loss, and so we cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us. But fear is the opposite of trust. When we trust in the divine process, we release our fears and step forward with confidence, knowing that we are always supported by a higher power. This trust does not mean that we will never face challenges or hardships, but it does mean that we can move through them with grace, knowing that they are part of a larger plan for our growth and evolution. In trusting the divine process, we align ourselves with the flow of life. We become co-creators with the universe, working in harmony with the divine forces that guide us. This trust brings a sense of peace, even in the midst of uncertainty, and allows us to live with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. Adversity is often seen as something to be avoided, feared, or overcome as quickly as possible. Yet, if we shift our perspective, we can begin to see adversity not as an enemy, but as one of our greatest teachers. It serves as a mirror, reflecting back to us who we truly are, revealing the aspects of ourselves that we might otherwise overlook. In this way, adversity becomes an opportunity for deep self-reflection, for understanding our true nature, and for personal growth in ways that comfort and ease could never provide. When we face adversity, we are often pushed out of our comfort zones and into situations that force us to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. It's in these moments of challenge that the layers we've built up to protect ourselves start to peel away. We are no longer able to hide behind the personas we've created or the illusions of control and security that we cling to in everyday life. Instead, adversity strips us bare, revealing the raw, unfiltered truth of who we are. In this sense, adversity acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us the aspects of ourselves that are most in need of attention. Perhaps we discover that we are not as strong or resilient as we thought. Maybe we realize that we've been holding on to beliefs or behaviors that no longer serve us, or that we've been avoiding certain truths about ourselves or our lives. These realizations can be uncomfortable, even painful, but they are also necessary if we are to grow and evolve. In the absence of adversity, it's easy to fall into complacency, to move through life on autopilot, without ever really examining who we are or what we're doing. We may think we know ourselves, but often it's not until we're tested by difficulty that we come to understand the depths of our character. Adversity forces us to confront our shadows, those parts of ourselves that we try to hide or ignore. It shows us where we are still wounded, where we are still afraid, and where we still need to heal. For example, when faced with a personal or professional setback, we might feel a surge of anger, frustration, or helplessness. These emotions, while uncomfortable, can reveal a great deal about us. Perhaps the anger points to an underlying insecurity or fear of failure. Maybe the frustration stems from a desire for control, and the helplessness is a reflection of our unwillingness to surrender to the flow of life. In this way, adversity acts as a mirror, showing us the deeper layers of our emotional and psychological landscape. It's also during times of adversity that we often discover strengths we didn't know we had. When life is easy, there's little need for courage, resilience, or perseverance. But when we are faced with difficulties, these qualities are called forth from within us. We may surprise ourselves with our ability to endure, to keep going even when things seem hopeless, to find solutions where none seemed possible before. These moments of strength and resilience reveal to us the true power of our inner being, a power that might have remained dormant had it not been for the adversity that brought it to light. Adversity also invites us to reflect on our relationship with control. So much of human life is spent trying to control our circumstances, to create a sense of security and predictability in a world that is inherently uncertain. We make plans, set goals, and work hard to achieve them, believing that if we just do everything right, we can avoid hardship and suffering. But adversity teaches us that control is often an illusion. No matter how carefully we plan or how diligently we work, life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. In these moments, we are forced to confront the reality that we are not in control of everything. This realization can be terrifying at first, but it also opens the door to a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. When we let go of the need to control, we begin to trust the process of life more fully. We come to see that there is a higher intelligence at work, a divine order that is guiding our lives in ways that we cannot always understand from our limited human perspective. Adversity then becomes not just a mirror for self-reflection, but also an opportunity to deepen our trust in the universe and in ourselves. Another way that adversity serves as a mirror is by revealing our attachments. When things are going well, we tend to become attached to the people, possessions, and circumstances that bring us comfort and joy. We come to rely on these external factors for our sense of identity and security. But when adversity strikes, these attachments are often threatened or taken away, forcing us to confront the question of who we are without them. Are we defined by our successes, our relationships, our material wealth? Or is there something deeper, something unchanging within us, that remains even in the face of loss? This kind of self-reflection can be difficult, but it is also profoundly liberating. Adversity strips away the superficial layers of our identity, revealing the core of who we truly are. It shows us that our worth is not dependent on external factors, but comes from within. This realization allows us to move through life with a greater sense of freedom and authenticity, unburdened by the need for external validation or approval. Moreover, adversity teaches us humility. When life is going smoothly, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we are in control, that we have all the answers, or that we are somehow immune to suffering. But adversity reminds us that we are all vulnerable, that we are all subject to the ups and downs of life. This humility can be a powerful catalyst for growth, as it opens our hearts and minds to new perspectives, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being. It reminds us that we are all connected, that no one is above hardship, and that in our vulnerability we find our common humanity. Ultimately, adversity serves as a mirror for self-reflection, because it forces us to confront the truth of who we are. It strips away the illusions, the masks, and the defenses that we use to protect ourselves from discomfort. It shows us our strengths, our weaknesses, our fears, and our attachments. It challenges us to grow, to evolve, and to become more aligned with our true nature. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that we are always in the process of becoming, that life is a journey of continuous growth and transformation, and that adversity is an essential part of that journey. In the end, it's not the adversity itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. Do we shrink back in fear, or do we rise to the challenge? Do we resist the lessons that adversity has to offer, or do we embrace them with an open heart and mind? The choice is ours. And when we choose to see adversity as a mirror for self-reflection, we unlock the door to deeper wisdom, greater resilience, and a more profound understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through adversity, we come to know ourselves more fully, and in knowing ourselves, we come to know the divine. Adversity often serves as one of the most powerful catalysts for spiritual growth. While challenges and hardships can feel overwhelming in the moment, they have a unique way of pushing us beyond our ordinary perceptions, beliefs, and limitations, leading us to deeper levels of understanding, awareness, and connection with the divine. Adversity forces us to confront the illusions we hold about ourselves, life, and the nature of existence. It strips away our sense of control, security, and predictability, forcing us to turn inward and seek meaning and strength from a higher source. In moments of ease and comfort, we tend to focus on the material world, our achievements, possessions, and relationships. While there is nothing inherently wrong with these things, they often become the central focus of our lives, distracting us from the deeper spiritual truths that lie beneath the surface. Adversity, on the other hand, has a way of shaking us out of this complacency. It disrupts the routines, expectations, and attachments we have built, forcing us to ask fundamental questions about the purpose of our lives and the nature of reality. What is truly important? What is the meaning of this suffering? Why do bad things happen? These are the questions that arise during times of adversity, and they are also the questions that can lead to profound spiritual breakthroughs. One of the key ways in which adversity catalyzes spiritual growth is by challenging our sense of identity. Many of us go through life with a fixed sense of who we are based on our job, our relationships, our social status, or our achievements. We take pride in these aspects of ourselves, and they become central to our sense of self-worth. But when adversity strikes, these external markers of identity can be threatened or taken away. A job loss, the end of a relationship, or a health crisis can shatter our carefully constructed sense of self, leaving us feeling lost and uncertain. In these moments, we are forced to confront the question, who am I really? Am I defined by my external circumstances, or is there something deeper within me that remains constant even in the face of loss and change? This questioning can be deeply uncomfortable, but it is also essential for spiritual growth. It pushes us to look beyond the surface level of our lives and connect with the deeper essence of who we truly are. We begin to realize that our true identity is not found in our job title, our possessions, or even our relationships. Instead, it is found in our connection to the divine, the eternal part of ourselves that transcends the temporary ups and downs of life. Adversity, by stripping away the outer layers of our identity, allows us to connect more deeply with this inner spiritual self. Another way in which adversity fosters spiritual growth is by teaching us the value of surrender. As human beings, we have a natural tendency to want to control our lives and the world around us. We make plans, set goals, and work hard to create the outcomes we desire. But adversity reminds us that, despite our best efforts, there are many things in life that are beyond our control. No matter how carefully we plan, life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges in our path. In these moments, we are forced to let go of our need for control and surrender to the flow of life. This surrender is not about giving up or becoming passive, but about recognizing that there is a higher intelligence at work, guiding the course of our lives in ways we cannot always understand. When we surrender to the divine in times of adversity, we begin to develop a deeper sense of trust. We come to understand that even when things don't go according to our plans, the universe is still working in our favor. Adversity becomes not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as part of the divine process of growth and evolution. This trust allows us to move through difficult times with greater grace and equanimity, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if we cannot see the bigger picture in the moment. Adversity also has a way of deepening our compassion and empathy. When we go through difficult times, we come face to face with our own vulnerability, pain, and suffering. We realize that we are not immune to hardship, that life can be unpredictable and challenging for all of us. This recognition can open our hearts to the suffering of others. We begin to see that everyone is carrying their own burdens, that everyone is facing challenges, even if those challenges are not always visible on the surface. Adversity then becomes a bridge of connection between us and others. It softens our judgments, deepens our empathy, and allows us to approach others with greater kindness and understanding. In this way, adversity fosters spiritual growth not just on an individual level, but on a collective level as well. As we move through our own challenges, we become more attuned to the struggles of others, and we are able to offer them the support, love, and compassion that we ourselves have needed. This sense of shared humanity, of recognizing that we are all in this together, is a key aspect of spiritual maturity. It reminds us that we are not separate from one another, but part of a larger interconnected whole. Adversity also teaches us the importance of resilience and perseverance. Spiritual growth is not a linear process, and it is often during the most challenging times that we make the greatest leaps forward. But in order to grow, we must be willing to endure the discomfort and uncertainty that adversity brings. This requires resilience, the ability to keep going, even when things are difficult, and to remain open to the lessons that adversity has to offer. Perseverance is not just about pushing through challenges with brute force, but about staying present, staying open, and trusting that there is a deeper meaning to our struggles. It is about continuing to seek the light, even when we are surrounded by darkness. Adversity can also serve as a wake-up call, reminding us of the transient nature of life and the importance of focusing on what truly matters. When everything is going well, it's easy to get caught up in the busyness and distractions of everyday life. We may prioritize things like success, status, or material wealth without stopping to consider whether these things are really bringing us lasting fulfillment. But when adversity strikes, it forces us to reevaluate our priorities. we begin to realize that many of the things we once thought were important are, in fact, fleeting and superficial. Adversity strips away the non-essentials, revealing what is truly important: our relationships, our connection to the divine, our inner peace, and our ability to live with integrity and love. Adversity is a powerful teacher. It challenges us, stretches us, and forces us to grow in ways that we might never have imagined. It is through adversity that we come to know ourselves more deeply, to connect more fully with the divine, and to develop the qualities of resilience, compassion, and trust that are essential for spiritual growth. While it may not be easy, adversity is often the very thing that propels us forward on our spiritual journey, helping us to become more fully aligned with our true nature and purpose in this life. In every challenge, there is an opportunity for growth, and in every moment of adversity, there is a chance to deepen our connection with the divine. By embracing adversity as a catalyst for spiritual growth, we transform our struggles into stepping stones on the path to enlightenment and self-realization. Trials are an inevitable part of life, and while they can be challenging and painful, they also serve as powerful opportunities for growth. One of the most profound gifts that trials offer is the revelation of inner strength and resilience. Often we go through life unaware of the depth of our capabilities until we are forced to confront hardship. It is in these moments of struggle that we begin to realize how strong we truly are, discovering qualities within ourselves that might have remained dormant had we not faced adversity. When life is comfortable and predictable, we tend to operate within our familiar routines and comfort zones. There is little need to test our limits or tap into our deeper reserves of strength because the circumstances of our lives don't require it. However, when we are faced with trials, whether they take the form of personal loss, failure, illness, or any other significant challenge, these comforts are stripped away, and we are left to navigate the unknown. In these moments, our instinctual response is often one of fear or helplessness. Yet, as we move through the difficulty, something remarkable begins to happen. We realize that we are more capable than we initially believed. Inner strength is not something that is readily apparent on the surface. It is often hidden beneath layers of self-doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But trials have a way of forcing us to dig deeper within ourselves. When faced with overwhelming obstacles, we are compelled to access parts of ourselves that we may not have known existed. This strength often comes in the form of endurance, the ability to keep going, even when the path ahead seems impossible. We learn that we can survive, and not just survive, but grow through the challenges that life throws our way. Resilience, closely tied to inner strength, is the capacity to bounce back from setbacks, to recover from difficulties, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. Trials reveal this resilience in profound ways. We might stumble, fall, and feel utterly defeated at times, but resilience is what allows us to rise again, to find hope in the midst of despair, and to continue the journey with renewed determination. The process of overcoming trials teaches us that failure and setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply detours that provide us with the opportunity to reassess, recalibrate, and move forward with greater wisdom and insight. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is its ability to transform our relationship with adversity. At first, trials may feel like insurmountable burdens, but over time, as we develop resilience, we begin to see these challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Each trial we overcome strengthens our resolve and builds our confidence. We come to understand that we are not defined by our struggles, but by how we respond to them. Resilience enables us to approach future challenges with a sense of calm and determination, knowing that we have faced difficulties before and emerged stronger on the other side. It is also important to recognize that trials often reveal more than just our capacity for endurance. They also illuminate our hidden talents, abilities, and potential. In times of difficulty, we may discover new aspects of ourselves that we never knew existed. Perhaps we find that we have a talent for problem solving or creative thinking under pressure. Maybe we realize that we are capable of leading others or offering support and encouragement in times of crisis. These discoveries can be incredibly empowering, as they show us that we are far more resourceful and adaptable than we give ourselves credit for. Trials also bring to light the importance of faith and trust, both in ourselves and in something greater than ourselves. When we are faced with overwhelming challenges, we are often forced to relinquish control and surrender to the flow of life. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but rather an acknowledgement that we cannot always dictate the outcome of every situation. In this surrender, we learn to trust in our own ability to navigate uncertainty and in the larger, often unseen forces that guide our lives. This trust allows us to approach trials with a sense of openness and curiosity, rather than fear and resistance. Furthermore, trials reveal our capacity for compassion both for ourselves and for others. As we navigate our own struggles, we become more attuned to the suffering of those around us. We begin to realize that hardship is a universal experience, and that no one is immune to life's challenges. This awareness deepens our empathy, allowing us to offer support and understanding to others who are going through difficult times. In this way, trials not only strengthen our individual resilience, but also foster a sense of connection and shared humanity. The process of moving through trials also teaches us patience and humility. In our fast-paced, results-oriented world, we often expect instant solutions and quick fixes to our problems. But trials remind us that growth and healing take time. We may not see immediate results, and the path forward may be unclear, but with patience we learn to trust in the process. Humility comes from recognizing that we do not have all the answers, and that life's challenges are often beyond our control. This humility opens us to the possibility of receiving help from others and from the divine, reinforcing the idea that we are not meant to navigate life's trials alone. As we emerge from trials, we carry with us the lessons and insights that these experiences have imparted. We are not the same people we were before the trial began. We have been shaped and transformed by the challenges we have faced, and this transformation is often one of profound spiritual and emotional growth. We come to see that the strength and resilience we discovered within ourselves during times of difficulty are not fleeting, they are permanent aspects of our character that we can draw upon in the future. This realization gives us a sense of inner peace and confidence, knowing that no matter what challenges may come, we have the tools and the strength to face them. Ultimately, trials serve as catalysts for self-discovery and transformation. They strip away the superficial layers of our identity and force us to confront our deepest fears, limitations, and vulnerabilities. In doing so, they reveal the strength and resilience that lie at the core of our being. We come to understand that we are far more powerful and capable than we ever imagined, and that we possess an inner well of strength that can carry us through even the darkest of times. Through trials, we also come to realize that life is not about avoiding hardship, but about learning to navigate it with grace, courage, and wisdom. Each trial we face is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It is through the process of overcoming challenges that we grow, evolve, and become more fully aligned with our true nature. In this sense, trials are not just obstacles to be overcome, they are essential components of our spiritual journey, guiding us toward greater strength, resilience, and self-awareness. Trials reveal the truth of who we are: resilient, strong, capable, and deeply connected to a source of inner power that transcends the circumstances of our lives. This realization is both humbling and empowering, reminding us that we are not defined by our struggles, but by how we respond to them. With each trial we face, we have the opportunity to uncover more of our true potential and to grow into the fullest expression of ourselves. Adversity often emerges as an unexpected and unwelcome presence in our lives, challenging our comfort zones and pushing us into unfamiliar territory. While it may initially appear as a burden, adversity serves as a powerful catalyst for transformation. It acts as a profound teacher, compelling us to reevaluate our beliefs, values, and priorities. In this way, adversity is not merely an obstacle to overcome, it is a pivotal force that can lead to profound personal growth and transformation. When we encounter adversity, we are often confronted with our limitations, fears, and insecurities. These challenges can manifest in various forms: the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a health crisis, or the death of a loved one. Each of these experiences can leave us feeling vulnerable, disoriented, and uncertain about the future. In the midst of such turmoil, we may grapple with feelings of inadequacy, helplessness, and confusion. However, these very struggles are what invite us to embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. At the heart of this transformational journey is the process of introspection. Adversity forces us to turn inward and examine our thoughts, beliefs, and emotional responses. We begin to ask ourselves critical questions. What does this experience reveal about my values? What do I truly want out of life? What fears are holding me back? In this process of reflection, we uncover layers of our identity that may have been obscured by the noise of everyday life. The trials we face illuminate the aspects of ourselves that we have neglected, providing an opportunity to reconnect with our authentic selves. As we emerge from the crucible of adversity, we often find that we possess a renewed sense of purpose and direction. The trials we faced have clarified our values and priorities, guiding us toward a more meaningful existence. We may feel a greater sense of alignment with our true selves and a deeper commitment to pursuing our passions. This newfound clarity can ignite a fire within us, propelling us forward on a path of transformation and fulfillment. Furthermore, adversity can deepen our spiritual connection. In times of struggle, many individuals turn to their faith or spiritual practices for solace and guidance. Adversity often serves as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, prompting us to explore the deeper questions of life and existence. We may seek a greater understanding of our place in the universe, the nature of suffering, and the power of love and compassion. This exploration can lead to profound insights, allowing us to cultivate a deeper sense of connection to the divine and to the world around us.